I mean, I was really damn near in tears. I mean, it was, I mean, one of the greatest. We're talking being at Game Six of the World Series for the Dodgers. You know, and Grandma getting no win. We're talking like those are probably the best feelings I've ever had in my life.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make 'em stay there.
We are here with the man who's responsible for this entire thing, the king, Daniel Vario. Dan, I just would love to get your thoughts on, you've been the one asking all the questions. Just wanted to hear your perspective now on that magical night. So, you have obviously an extensive experiences with this game, just like through your whole life. So talk me through like what you were thinking pregame, like what was going through your mind before we started the first match.
A lot of excitement, a lot of jitters, like nervous excitement, like however you would feel before like a regular big game of any sport or event. I mean, definitely a lot of nerves though, not gonna lie. I know that this is, we're getting to the point where this got to get done. I've lost so many times consecutively that it's, a little bit scary going into it. Cause like even beforehand, you're like, God, we just got to do it. It's like just so much pressure, but just so excited to have everyone over and just have an awesome, fun night and like just some good, pure fun. So a little mix of both.
Yeah. So we go through about 5 matches and it's not looking good. Personally, I lost a match. We had a lot of people were not coming through. So
Yeah.
I guess my question is, at any point of the night, had you given up hope? Were you feeling like that was like, this just was not the night we're gonna get it done?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Believe it or not, more so earlier than later. I think around match 4 and then after 5 when we prayed, I actually was like, you know what? Because we got Grandma to take her chips back. I'm like, we're gonna press through. We're gonna persevere. We're gonna get this done. But first couple 3 matches, it's when you've been hit so many times, Liam, sometimes you're a little bit shy. So I was starting to be like, here we go again. But I think I was able to snap out of it and be like, listen, I know who that person is. That is the greatest left, right, center player of all time. We're going to persevere when you get this done.
So you had asked me about my last role. I know obviously Jen has the pivotal play there. Do you remember your last role? And what was kind of you were thinking at the moment?
Sure. I believe my last role was a little bit earlier on in that game. And if I'm not mistaken, it was a right that I ended up throwing to Jen that I think ended up making it around to Grandma. I was kind of positioned in the middle of the field, so I didn't have as much pressure on me in that situation. But definitely, I should be throwing rights. I was definitely a right thrower. I mean, there's pressure on every role. It might not have been like a pivotal role, but there's never a role I'm in there like I don't give a shit what happens. It'll never happen. So whether it was that one or any other one in any game, it's always the same feeling of like, there's some pressure, but excitement, like I said.
Right. And just like the feeling like we're nervous, but like there's a joy to all of this, right? Like just
100%.
being here and
Yeah.
just the feeling with everyone around you. So
There's a reason you're nervous, Liam. It's because of passion. It's because of how, exciting and important that it is. You wouldn't be that nervous if it didn't matter. And that's where the excitement comes from.
100%. So, just take me through it. Jen does the role.
Mhm.
How did winning feel? Tell me about that moment.
Oh, I mean, I was really damn near in tears. I mean, one of the greatest. We're talking being at Game 6 of the World Series for the Dodgers. And Grandma getting no win. We're talking like those are probably the best feelings I've ever had in my life. I mean, I turn, I hug Sarah, I look around. It's like a blur, but everyone's hugging, everyone's rejoicing, and it amplifies it because it's not only you've been beaten down so many times and then you're finally victorious. It's that I'm here with a bunch of other people I love, and they're all just as happy, and that just to experience everyone's happiness at the same time, while accomplishing a goal. I mean, there's no feeling like it. There really isn't. It was amazing.
No, I feel like it was all you could ask for, like in
Yeah.
life in that moment. So who'd you say had the most underrated performance in your mind?
Underrated performance. That's tough. Everyone played their roles so well. I've said you in a couple interviews, and I mean that, but I'm gonna go a different direction here in mine. And I'm gonna say Joe. He was a rookie, okay, and a baby rookie too, not like a savvy rookie like you. I mean, this kid's coming in, doesn't know exactly what to expect, hasn't spent an enormous amount of time in the friend group close knit, or like he's in these. I mean, he has lately with the specky and all this stuff, but fairly new. And he comes in, and we put him at the fucking swing position, no less. I mean, he's right next to grandma. What a thing to be thrown. That's for like normally me and Leif. You know, that's where those we're talking great to the game. You know, listen, it is what it is. Been here a long time. Joe, and the amount of rights that guy swung, like it was nothing. I mean, the pressure didn't get to him whatsoever. And I really think people don't talk about Joe because it's like a good umpire. If you only say something when it's bad, and in that position, there's so much pressure that you're only going to get talked about if you're doing something wrong, and he never did. I thought he was amazing.
I would completely agree. I want to circle back 1 second to a moment that you've talked about as possibly a turning point in that last match, the prayer.
Yeah.
So what did that mean to you? Like how do you feel that affected the night?
I mean, it was the night. You know, it changed everything. I don't even know how it came about or who suggested it, but it almost seemed like it was a tough loss. We were about to give up, and then, I mean, I'm a little distance from it now, but all of a sudden we were just holding hands praying. I don't even remember what the interim was. I'm sure there was something, but it was just like we all realized that's what we had to do. You know, something just came over us, and it just felt right. And
Yeah.
I mean, I was obviously blessed with the opportunity to give the prayer and, you know, come up with it on the spot, which was, again, nervous and exciting, all due to importance. But
Yeah.
everything I said was it just came out because it was from the heart, you know, and it all felt right. And it worked, man. It came through. Like you said, divine intervention. It happened.
Yeah. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we just randomly wanted to do it, you know? I don't think
No,
there's a reason for that.
of
So
course.
agree. Is there anything that you want to say to kids out there who, you know, they've experienced losses like you,
Yeah.
haven't got the success that you've achieved? Like anything you want a message for them?
Well, I'll lead it off by saying this first and foremost: never stop grinding. Okay, there's a reason that's been my tagline and kind of my motto as a creative, you know, an artist, whether I'm making music or YouTube videos or whatever. Like that's kind of a mantra that I take. I mean, I've been beaten down a bunch of times, whether it be in school or personal life or relationships or with family stuff. You know, you're always going to struggle with, you know, with stuff, you know, whether mental, physical, anything. But you can't stop pushing through. The moment that you stop pushing through is when the world wins. You got to just, as a quote that, it's a quote that I said. I'm sure other people have said it, but I relate it to like treading water. Sometimes it's going to be like really heavy waves in the water. And if you just keep treading, it's going to seem like you're not going anywhere and you're just stationary, but you're pushing so hard. It's like, how am I not moving? I'm swimming as hard as I can. But the second that the waves start dying down, you're going to like springboard. You're going to realize that like, if you wouldn't have been swimming so hard, you would have been getting pushed back. But because you're doing this, now you're used to it. When everything like opens up for you, you're going to go crazy. And you know, so it's just, you can't stop pushing. It's so important. And it is tough and like, it's discouraging a lot of times when it's not easy. But if you don't stop, you're gonna get everything you ever dreamed of. I really believe that.
I love that. I love that answer. A couple more for you. I think kind of the controversial question is, do we run this back, or is this the finale for LRC?
I mean, it's such a tough question, Liam. Do I think we should run it back? You know, there's two halves of me. One is like, I've been through this ringer. I've lost so many times. I know how tough it is to win. So to put that all on the line seems just fucking ridiculous. Like, why in the world would you do that? But knowing how good that win feels, it's like, how could you not? You know what I mean? It's like you want to so bad to be able to get that feeling back. I think, and I'm not going to take credit for this, but Jen also said this. I think we leave it up to the big dog herself. Next year, if we're all back home for that kind of season in the summer, and my aunt and my cousin want to come over and we all can hang out, my grandma's still with us. If we ask her, and if she doesn't want to, then we don't. But if she wants to, and we're all able to, you don't take the gloves away from the champ. If she wants to fight, you let her fight. You know what I mean? And I think we leave it up to that. But I think that's something that we'll have to decide down the road. And thankfully, we won't have to think about it for a little while right now. Just enjoy this win.
Mm. Last one. Anything you want to say to Grandma?
To Grandma, just thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done, all the excitement and the love you've been able to give to me. This game means a lot to me because, there was a point in which this game wouldn't even make sense. And that point was an amazing point in my life where she was one of the greatest influences on me. Unfortunately, the game makes sense now, but fortunately it does, because this has been a good way to A, cope, and B, have a reason to have a shared excitement and joy and do something with her that everyone can do. And she has given us a lot of ups in this game and a lot of downs. And without her losing so many times, we wouldn't have had this much excitement. So I got to say thank you to her for being patient and playing with us, and for everything she's done for me, ever. And she's just an amazing woman.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the King. Dan, thank you for your time today.